Welcome to the Poultry Nerds podcast, where feathers meet fun. Your podcast hosts are Carey Blackmon and Jennifer Bryant. Together, they work hard to bring you the latest news and information from the world of poultry. So, get ready for egg-sighting interviews, fowl facts, and more. Now here's Carey and Jennifer.
The Poultry Nerds podcast is brought to you, in part, by the generous support of Show Pro. Show Pro is a revolutionary poultry feed supplement, supercharged with key ingredients like cysteine, the #1 amino acid to make your show bird a Show Pro champion. Check out showprousa.com for more information.
All right. Welcome to Poultry Nerds Podcast. We are here with Michelle. She breeds Langshans. And Michelle, tell us about yourself. Where are you? What, do you have a farm name? All the good stuff.
Sure. Thanks for having me here. This is only my second podcast ever. This is exciting. I am Michelle Sullivan Burns. And the reason why I go by Michelle Sullivan Burns is because there's another Michelle Burns in the APA world. I own MSB Poultry here in Mineral Wells, Texas. And it's about 1 hour west of Fort Worth.
Nice.
Is it boiling down there right now?
I'm sorry?
Is it boiling hot down there right now?
It is. It's pretty. Yeah. It's better than last year, though. Meaning it's only like 100. Like 105. I know that sounds funny.
Like, I do agree that in the South last year, we had 110. It was bad.
It was bad.
This year is a little cooler than it was last year.
I know. Cool at 102. Yeah.
So tell us about Langshans.
Langshan. I got into that.
Where do they come from?
They originally are from East China, actually Langshan Mountain, and way east. So it's so far east on the coast that if you looked out, Japan is 2-hour boat ride to the west, as well as that's South Korea right there. Yeah. Crazy stuff. They came more to the west through Germany and through Britain, Germany, then to Britain, by way of major Croad. So you might see them listed as sometimes Croad Langshan. And there was actually a gentleman that actually major Croad brought them this way. And in turn, they came to the United States, I think Britain, 1900. And then they've been in that area since.
Okay, so when somebody says Langshan or they said Croads, are they the same bird?
Yes, but then there's also just German Langshan.
Okay.
Because the feathering is a little different on their feet. Actually, some German Langshan don't have any feathered feet. Yeah, it can get a little, it's like the whole Australorp Jersey Giant thing. So I don't know if you ever seen that. People start, I have an Australorp. I go, actually, I have a Jersey Giant. And you go, it's just different characteristics make them whatever that breed is. And if you see them, yes.
On the Australorp Jersey Giant, I've actually wanted to go pop popcorn reading threads about that on Facebook. Some people get real into that.
They'll get really into it. I only know that because I got bamboozled. And I had the gray bottom feet, more Australorp, depending on who you talk to, Australorp. And then, of course, yellow is Jersey Giant.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what
Jersey Giants have pretty yellow legs.
Yeah. Yes. We're Langshan have the real nice feathered feet, but not feathered like Cochin or say Santa and Fabro or even Brahma. It's more of a wispy on the leg, and there's only feathers down the middle toe and to the right. I know I'm very visual. This means feather.
So for all the listeners, she's showing us with her hands.
Yes.
So they're partially feathered like a Moran.
Yeah, I guess yes, exactly. But but on the feet, it should be on this side, on the outside, and there should be other thing. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What colors do Langshans come in?
Black, blue, white, and there's some splash out there. But the APA only recognizes black, white, and blue. And what's really cool about white is that you could hatch out a bunch of black and then boom, there'd be a white. Because they have this gene in there of course, both parents have to have it in order to have it. But then if you can get some whites, then yeah.
So it has recessive white.
Yes, it does.
Gotcha.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I only show black.
Yeah. Okay. You only show black. Yeah.
I only show black.
So tell us about your birds. Like, do they come in large fowl and bantam?
They come in large fowl and bantam. I like large fowl, and that's only because you like what you like. And they do come in bantam, and they're adorable. They're just like, I think it's cool when you see some big, like, look at how big that is. Then you just shrink it down. It's this cute little bird. But I go big or go home. I want them big. I want them big.
Yeah.
You're in good company because I have Cochin's and Orpingtons and
Okay.
Carey's red all in red. So
I absolutely, the bigger the better.
yeah.
Really, I do. I think they're so more statuesque to me. Absolutely. And I got involved with them. It was fall 22. And here in Comanche, Texas, there was a show. And that's actually a 2-day double show both days. So it was really a good show. And I brought my Krebs there, which we'll talk about that later. And I happened to do one of those, what is that? Over there. And I became acquainted with Phil Harriman, who is pretty big. And come to find out, he lives like 30 minutes from my house. And we struck up a conversation. He said to me, congratulations, because my Krev beat his Langshan and large fowl. And we started talking, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Have a nice day. That was it. And then I saw them again that would be Blue Bonnet, which is a huge show in Houston. And then I saw them at Klein, the Langshan, and I saw Phil again. We started talking, and that's actually where also I met Patrick Jones, PJ. A lot of people are friends with him in this, especially in the APA. A lot of people are friends with him, and he has Brahma. And we started talking, and then I saw them again that would be January 23 at the stock show. And the stock show is only 45 minutes free. So I'm going to that show, of course. And me and Phil, I just kept on I keep looking off like that because that's where they were. I kept on looking off to them, and I said, I need that bird. I need those birds. Somehow I need to get these birds. I talked to Phil and Patrick, and I got me some birds. And it was January of 23. And I hatched out my first birds March of 23 of Langshan.
It
So-
is awesome to have a showman to get you started and then to help mentor you.
Absolutely. I think what people miss out on shows is actually once the show gets going, that's when, of course, you start talking to people. But I convince people, go up to that person and you make that person your best friend. That's who you need to make. You talk to them. It's not like you want to go up and brown nose them. It's more, I like your birds. Tell me what you do. How can I do what you do? And if you show genuine interest, you could get yourself a mentor completely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So are they mentoring you in your breeding program?
I was already breeding Krebs before that. So when it comes to like mentoring, I was more worried about they are such a big animal. They're like double the size of my Krebs. So then you start getting into like feed and whatnot. And I had a very bad experience actually after I bred them, which was when they hatched out. I had one girl hatch out like 4 or 5, but her 2 sisters died within 24 hours of each other in the same pen. And I'm like, okay, that was scary. Of course, I put them on ice, I packed them up, and I shipped them off to Texas A&M for necropsy. When I got back is these birds are so big that they will pull calcium from everywhere just to make that egg. So they were D3 sufficient, no different than adult female human. So they need D3 on top of calcium to tell the calcium to get absorbed. So D3 helps the calcium get absorbed into their bodies. It was nothing I've ever seen before. They literally dropped dead. And I'm like, of course, what do you think of? Everything goes, don't want to use the words like AI or Merrick's and all that. And that's what was scary. So I'm glad I got the necropsy though. Absolutely.
What you might not know is Carey is studying poultry nutrition.
Oh, really?
He works on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've become a little bit of a poultry nutrition nerd in addition to the other portions of poultry that I'm nerdy about. So when you were talking about that, I was like, yeah, this a D3 deficiency will mess that up in a heartbeat. And a lot of people, they don't understand the importance of the nutrition, which is why they go buy that $15 bag of feed instead of the $25 bag. And the sad thing is, even the more expensive feeds, some of them are still not quite where they need to be. So
Nope.
it's a thing.
And
I am
need a specific kind of feed.
no. I buy a specific feed. I'm very blessed to live close to Alito, which is Bryant feeds, and they do make a pretty substantial 28% gain feed. However, I am hardcore for trout. I have poultry, show poultry, that for trout supplement that they have. It's like that fish. I smell like it because I just use it. It smells like it's like fish, and the lysine in it is great, and it has 1,000 whatever those special things that I want to. I would say milligrams. Of course, that's I'm not that, but their D3 is extremely high in that. So that's what I use actually in both Croad and my Langshan.
Those are measured in international units.
Thank you. Millimeters, it's like
So
metric. It's measured in metric.
So Carey is good friends with Jeff at Fur Trail, and we've actually done a podcast with Jeff. So for our listeners wanting to bone up more on the nutrition, you can go back and listen to those. And Carey and Jeff get all nerdy in the nutrition stuff.
Get all nerdy.
Yeah,
some of it's pretty in depth.
Yeah. The conversation went on for so long. I think you broke it into 3 episodes, didn't you?
I did break it into 3 episodes, and I cut a lot of it out because it was stuff that he and I were talking about that were proprietary to some projects that we had in the mix. So I didn't let those cats out of the bag. But aside from that, it was 3 anywhere from 25 to 40-minute podcasts.
Oh my. Yeah. Just on nutrition alone, I believe it. Completely. I could talk hours about just chickens in general. And then break it down from there. I could probably do 25 minutes per each one.
Okay, I'm going to run through some questions here. So what color egg do they lay?
On Langshans, this is interesting. It's brown, but if you hold it up to the sun, it's purple. It shows a purple hue.
Seriously?
Yeah. And then I have one girl that lays like a cream colored egg, like really light brown, creamy. But I got one girl, her name is June. June lays. It's brown. I don't have one because, of course, they're not laying right now. It's hotter than Hades. It's like brown. Yeah, you hold it up a little bit, and it's purple.
How nasty.
Well, I have a breeding question for you.
Yeah.
If a hen or pullet comes out of a purple egg, will she also lay purple eggs?
No, because her daughter does it. June's daughter doesn't lay purple eggs.
Okay, because I was going to specifically request if I could order some purple eggs because that is extremely cool. But
when they start going again, I noticed though, I will say this though, the earlier the season, if I can get those eggs in February, March, they tend to be a little darker than the April. I know so differently, but you can just see it that it's, I think that's interesting how the bloom works on it.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
All right. What kind of comb do they have?
Single.
Okay. And what's their temperament like? People are scared of these big birds.
Oh, I find the bigger the bird, the more gentle, like giant. I had a Millie Floor that was like a double spawn, and he was this big, and my Langshan was this big, and I have a picture that says, "Who do you think the bully is?" And it's literally 100%. It is the Millie Floor. I'm telling you, they're big. Yeah, they come at you a little bit, but I think it's just because they're scared. They cower. It's not that they cower. I find them to be enjoyable because once you pick them up and you hold them, he stays right there in your hand. That's it. He'll just stay there.
Oh,
so I find them to be very enjoyable, very pleasant, very fun. They'll sit right next to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can set the coachins up on the gator. Not the boys, but the girls. Like I said, them just on the gator seat and drive all over the farm. And they're just, what are we doing? Where are we going?
I find the boy Langshan to be a little bit more personable than the females and want to be more in my face. Maybe it's just because the ones I have, I don't know. But to me, and even at the shows, I've seen them there. They just stand there. They hardly ever run when you go in to get them, especially when we start talking about the Krebs, those things are spastic. But unlike the Langshan, you could literally just reach right in. Okay, I guess I'm getting picked up now. I'm good. That's it. They're just go with the flow. Really
That's
easy
awesome.
going.
All right, let's see. You're breeding standard-bred birds. I'm assuming you can buy them from a hatchery also.
Yes, you
So
can.
is there obvious differences between a hatchery stock and a standard-bred stock?
I absolutely 100% believe so. Absolutely.
Yes. We're going to agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? You know how I found that? I think people find that out because you have to fail. You have to. I shouldn't have done that. And I try to show people that, this is hatchery and this is good standard quality breeder stock. And I think if people want to get into showing, you need quality stock, plain and simple. Hatchery is a good place to start. If you don't, I hate to say want to spend the money, but it's like anything else. There's one other thing. I don't buy cheap mayonnaise. If you don't want cheap birds, then don't buy cheap birds. And if you don't want to have a cheap sandwich, don't buy cheap mayonnaise.
Makes sense.
But if you have them side by side,
you can tell the difference. Absolutely. And you know that, honestly, I work at Tractor Supply.
Wow.
Yes, I do. I worked there for 7 years. I am the chicken lady. I have tattoos of chicken. I worked there for chicken feed. Actually, no, I worked there for duck feed. I should rephrase that. But people come in and I'm like, they'll say like, it's an Australarp. Oh, look, it's an Australarp. I go, that's a hatchery Australarp, just to let you know. And I love my job, but like I said, I don't mean to be that way, but I'm like, and then actually that triggers people because they'll be like, what's a breeder? I'm like, oh, let me show you. And I whip out my phone and I'm like, so I just said, so basically, but you know what? The way I look at it is, hey, if I can get more people to buy from quality breeders, that's whether it's me or someone else down the road, I'm all for it. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. And would you classify the Langshan as a dual purpose?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. People talk about culling and they think automatically just a butcher. I let mine just free range if I don't really, but no, I'll eat them. I will eat them. I'll let them, but they take a while. To, what is it? It's not a Cornish. It's not like a big Brahma. It takes a long time to get to at least an edible level. But honestly, if I do eat them, I'm using it more for a soup stock or chicken and dumplings. It's not like they're going to be a main meal because they're not.
They're chewy.
Yeah, they're chewy. Yeah, it's like a Freedom Ranger.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we eat the Orpingtons. Yeah, I try not to eat the Cochins because they're really messy to try to harvest, but we do eat the Orpingtons.
Right.
But I have found that canning them with bone in it's awesome. It's
I can broth, definitely. But I never even thought about canning bone in.
Yeah. So digress for just a minute. Y'all just bear with us. So you take a big old quart wide mouth jar and you just take the whole leg, thigh and everything, just shove it down in the jar, fill it about a third of the way with water and a little bit of salt, can it just like that. And it cooks in that bone broth.
Right.
And then when you go to eat it,
that must be like an hour and a half processing in the pressure canner.
No, it's the same. It's 70.
Really? Yeah, it's wow.
But when you go to open, you just take the bone, you pull it out, throw it away. So good.
Yeah, because it's infusing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty. You don't want it like out on your countertop all the time. It's not pretty because in the jar. But man,
when you go to people's houses who prepare like that, you're about to see anything. I grew up with people making head cheese.
Yeah. If you have a pressure canner, you should really try canning it bone in.
Bone in. Okay. I'm going to try that. Absolutely.
Yes. And so awesome stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
when you say it takes a long time for them, I know how long it takes, but tell our listeners, how long does it take to get a Langshan to edible size?
Over a year, 12, 13, 14 months even, maybe. Yeah.
So when we say dual purpose, we're saying, yeah, it's edible. If it's going to be $1 chicken.
Right. Yes. It is. And it doesn't mean to be. It's just that that's the way it goes.
So when we show, because I show the Cochins and the Orpingtons, but we have to grow those birds out close year in order to really whittle it down to what we're keeping. So we do have a lot of feed in those birds.
Right.
So we can't really sell them and recoup any of our money. So you might as well just eat them. Honestly.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
If they're not to what I like, but maybe I could give them to I've given a couple of 4-H'ers.
Yeah.
Some birds, see if this is something you like. And if not, then you guys can go eat it. But I like for them to at least maybe hold it. It's a big bird. So all of these look fantastic. I'm like, well, here, why don't I give you a few and then see if you can manhandle it and see where it goes from there. Because if you can't control them and let's say you're using them in showmanship or something, and maybe it's not the breed for you. So I'd rather try to give them at least to someone too who might be able to try to use them on that purpose first. Always, if I can give to someone.
If you were talking to somebody who just wanted to start out in Langshans, what would you tell them that you wish you knew that when you started?
That they do eat a lot of feed. They are a heavy, big bird, a lot of feed. It's a lot of feed.
Bigger housing?
Yes.
So by big bird, what do you mean by big bird? How big do they get?
A male is supposed to weigh between 9 and 10 pounds. I've seen them get up to 11. And it's not that we're talking, they're so statuesque. Like this much is leg and then the body. So the housing is because it's, I have 8-week-olds right now. I got 7-week-olds right now and they're done with that small coop. They're done. And that coop is 6x4. They're done. They need to go bigger now. Big as in more tall and not just wide, not like a Cochin wide or a Brahma wide. It's more like tall like this. And of course, forget it. Their feathers, their tail feathers are equal to their head almost, if not taller.
So we're talking like an Orpington or a Jersey Giant or bigger.
Yes. So I have a Jersey Giant. He is more like this in the chest. And then if I'm looking at them straight on, my Jersey Giant does more like this. And then my Langshan does more like this. They're heavy. They go lower breast where the Jersey Giant's bigger. But they eat about the same. They're just massive birds. Especially Cochins. Actually, when I saw large fowl Cochin, I was like, that's almost like Godzilla coming. So I put them all in that same category of eating almost. That's not a half a cup of food. I almost give them a good cup of food, of course, with other supplements and whatnot. But big birds, big bird.
Yeah, I have the large Cochins and they're big, massive birds. And then the Orpingtons are just super tall. Some of my Orpington boys are bigger than my turkey hens. I'm not super picky about who I sell to, but I do make sure that they are prepared for big of a bird.
That's exactly. I already knew they were big when I got into them, but I wish I knew that they would get big. Crev are more like long in the tail, and these are, like I said, with Langshan, it's more like up and out. I was used to the bigness, but I think people need to be prepared. That's it. They need to be prepared on how big they can get.
I think you told me what I need to know about Langshan. Carey, you got anything?
I'm good.
You good? Thank you, Michelle, for being with us.
You're welcome.
Talking about Langshans.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us this week. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you can receive new episodes right when they are released. And they're released every week. Feel free to email us at poultrynerds@gmail.com to share your thoughts about the show. Until next time, Poultry Pals, keep clucking, keep learning, and keep it exciting. This is Carey signing off from Poultry Nerds. Feathers up, everyone.